Good afternoon. My name is Kenner Cunner. I'm here to talk to you about the damage of phones. Here is my audience, my mother, brother, wife, and dad. And we're going to talk about phones today. So, we all know that phones are like the best tools we have, and they come with all the answers that we have and need in the world. It's the most easily entertaining thing we have. Anytime we're bored for any amount of time, we can pick up our phones, pull them out of our pocket, and just look away and be entertained for a long period of time. But we really don't talk about the damage that phones do to us as a civilization and really people, and what could we do to prevent that damage. So today that's what I really want to talk about is all the things that we can do to avoid people staying on their phones and having damage from that in the future of our youth on phones as well. I really want to focus on the fix of what we can do to make phones better. So, what we're going to talk about first is damage. So, we all know that phones are our everything. We spend an average of about 3 hours and 15 minutes on a phone a day, and most people check it around 58 times a day. Gen Z spends around 9 hours a day on their phone, and it's kind of scary. Like they're always looking at it, and we don't consider the physical damage it does. So you think about phones, you're thinking about your posture, you're always bent down. You have neck pain, you have back pain, your shoulders really hurt all the time. Another thing that we don't really think about is the eyes. So we don't think about what the damage does to our eyes when we look at phones all the time. And it's deals with like dry eyes and having possible blurry vision, and more people are getting LASIX every year. So it's causing us a great deal of physical damage. Obesity is one of those things. So people are on their phones more often, less likely to actually spend time outside doing physical activity. So the raise of obesity is just going higher and higher and higher, which is just going to cause a sedentary lifestyle, and that's what we're trying to avoid mostly. One other thing is sleep. So the light that's emitted from phones and screens sends a cue to the brain that it's not bedtime. So it messes up our circadian rhythm and causes us not to sleep well at night. We also don't think, well, now today we're thinking about mental health way more than we ever have. And phones are like a huge reason why people go through anxiety and depression. We all know about social media. Social media is kind of the catalyst for anxiety and depression, especially for young girls. And speaking of young girls, I want to talk about the youth. So we want to raise kids. That's our goal. And we bring out phones, and people hand their phones to their kids all the time and just let them go ahead and be entertained with phones. The issues behind that is kids get used to it. And that's the only way the kids will actually learn how to be entertained instead of going outside, being outside with friends. They want entertainment through YouTube, phones, and there are studies that show that if kids spend 7 hours behind screens, then they will actually have more general anxiety and depression. And it's something we should fix at an early age. So when we think about phones and damage, it's big for especially our youth. But the cool thing is there's a fix, and I think it's not a crazy fix. So I'm one of the people that it's hard to practice what you preach, but I really spent the last 2 weeks trying not to use my phone as much in preparation for this speech. And it's been like a really cool experience watching, like, we go on more walks, we do more things. And one of the reasons why is because I read this study and it showed it was in Europe in 2022, and it took three groups. So one group had no limits, they could use their phone as much. The other one, the second group had they could use their phone 1 hour less than they normally did, so they averaged their screen time. In the third group, they had no phone usage, and the results were kind of fascinating. What occurred was the people that had limited use and no use found themselves having more physical activity and less general anxiety, but it wasn't for just that week. It persisted for months. And that's the really cool thing. So if we could just do 1 hour of your phone less than normal, it would be a humongous thing. So today I want to show you how to see your screen time. So if all you guys just go to settings on your phone, and we're going to scroll down until we get to screen time. You're going to click on screen time, and where it says weeks, you're going to see what it says on there. So if I go back 3 weeks ago, I was at 3 hours and 47 minutes, if we can see that on there. 3 hours, 47 minutes. And this last week, I got down to 2 hours and 55 minutes. So I've been really focusing on using less of my screen time, and hopefully this maintains for a while. Um, but today I just really want to talk to you guys. Hopefully you could maybe use our phone for an hour less, so you can set limits on your phone for your most common apps. So Instagram for me, set a limit on it. Limit yourself to 1 hour less than you would normally use it per day, and let it go. See if it helps you with any anxiety or just getting outside more. Um, but all in all, thank you for listening to me. I think that phones are the coolest tools that we have, and it's really cool that we get to use them. It has all the answers that we ever need in them, but it does come with the dangerous side. And I know we just all are kind of in the same boat. We want to raise kids, raise the future of the youth. So we also need to think about what that's going to do to them. I think there's a healthy way to use phones, and if we just sacrifice something small like 1 hour, it might make a big difference in our lives. So thank you for listening to me. I appreciate you guys.